It's meme time, it's meme time. Gather all your friends, it's meme time. It's meme time, it's meme time. The only cure for sadness.
Birth and childhood. Luffy was born in Fuchsia Village to Monkey D. Dragon and an unknown woman. Dragon left Luffy in the care of his grandfather, Monkey D. Garp, who did many dangerous things to Luffy to make him stronger, like throwing him down a deep ravine, leaving him alone in the wild, and tying him to a balloon. Shanks and the Straw Hat. When Luffy was 6, Shanks and the red-haired pirates stationed themselves in Fuchsia Village. While they were there, their sniper Yasopp frequently told Luffy that he had a son his age named Usopp. Luffy wanted to join the red-haired pirates, and after they had been in the village for nearly a year, he stabbed himself under his left eye to prove he was tough enough to be a pirate.
Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you?
I had a bowl of nails for breakfast this morning, without any milk.
Right this way. Sorry to keep you waiting.
SpongeBob should have just stabbed his left eye. Anyway, Luffy and the red-haired pirates then went to the party's bar where Luffy continued to get Shanks to let him join them unsuccessfully. He found the Gomu Gomu no Mi in a chest and ate it with his meal, not knowing what it was. As he did this, the mountain bandit Higuma and his gang entered the bar and demanded sake. The bartender Makino informed them that the red-haired pirates had consumed all the sake available, and when Shanks offered them the last bottle, Higuma smashed it against his head. Shanks only responded by cleaning up the mess, and Higuma abused him some more before leaving. Luffy was outraged that Shanks didn't retaliate, and Shanks grabbed his arm when he tried to leave, causing it to stretch. The red-haired pirates realized in shock that Luffy had eaten the devil fruit they took, and revealed to Luffy that he would never be able to swim for the rest of his life. The red-haired pirates later set sail, and Luffy enjoyed his new rubber body. One day, he was sitting in the party's bar when Higuma's gang returned. Luffy picked a fight with him, and they quickly overpowered him. Before Higuma could kill Luffy, the red-haired pirates then arrived, and Lucky Roo shot one of the bandits that threatened them before Ben Beckman defeated the rest of Higuma's men by himself. However, Higuma threw a smoke bomb and escaped to the sea with Luffy. There, he kicked Luffy overboard, and a sea king known as the Lord of the Coast came and ate Higuma before going to eat Luffy. However, Shanks then arrived and saved Luffy before scaring away the sea king. However, Luffy was left deeply saddened due to Shanks having lost his left arm in the process of saving him. Later, the red-haired pirates prepared to depart Fuchsia Village for good, and Luffy had decided that he would instead set sail on his own. Shanks teased him about being too weak, and Luffy declared that he would become the Pirate King and form a stronger crew than Shanks's. In response, Shanks gave Luffy his straw hat, telling him to return it once he had become a great pirate. Luffy's new family, bandits and brothers. After the red-haired pirates left, Garp took Luffy to Mount Kolubo and placed him in the care of the mountain bandit Curly Dadan and the Dadan family. He introduced Luffy to Dadan's other ward, Portgas the Ace, but Ace was cold towards Luffy. Every day, Ace would travel away from the Dadan family hideout, and Luffy attempted to follow him. Ace would put obstacles in his path to stop him, but Luffy continued following him. Eventually, Luffy made it to Grey Terminal, where he found Ace counting money with a boy named Sabo. When Luffy went up to them, Ace and Sabo captured him and talked about killing him to keep their secret safe. Porchemi of the Blue Jam Pirates then came walking through the woods, and as Ace and Sabo hid from him, they left Luffy to be captured. Porchemi took Luffy to his base and interrogated him about the money Ace and Sabo had stolen from his crew. Luffy refused to answer, even when Porchemi nearly beat him to death with spiked gloves. Ace and Sabo then came to the base and freed Luffy, with Ace beating Porchemi. After this incident, Luffy, Ace, and Sabo became friends and went on many adventures together, becoming known throughout the Goa Kingdom. One day, they went to a restaurant in Goa and broke out without paying. As they ran away, a man called out to Sabo, though Sabo didn't respond. After escaping the city, Luffy and Ace forced Sabo to tell them who that man was. Sabo admitted that the man was his father and a member of Goa's nobility. He had run away from his family due to their preoccupation with maintaining their status. Luffy, Ace, and Sabo then shared their dreams, deciding to sail as pirates to achieve them when they turned 17. They then exchanged sake cups to become sworn brothers, solidifying their bond. The three brothers continued adventuring and honing their abilities, with Luffy struggling to attack properly with his devil fruit. However, their time was cut short as Sabo's father had the Blue Jam Pirates capture Luffy and Ace to force Sabo to return to his family. Sabo agreed to return on the condition that the Blue Jam Pirates didn't harm Luffy and Ace. After Sabo left, Blue Jam put Luffy and Ace to work moving boxes around Grey Terminal. A few days later, Blue Jam told the two brothers to help him burn down Grey Terminal that night. Luffy and Ace refused, and Blue Jam asked about the location of their treasure. They didn't tell him, causing him to tie them to a pole in Grey Terminal. As night fell, the Blue Jam pirates set Grey Terminal ablaze, and Ace managed to free himself and Luffy as flames surrounded them. The Blue Jam Pirates then confronted the duo with getting the location of their treasure, but Ace knocked most of them out with Haoshoku Haki before the Dadan family came to the rescue. Luffy fled Grey Terminal with the Dadan family, while Ace and Dadan stayed behind to fight Blue Jam. The following day, Ace and Dadan returned to Mount Kolubo, heavily injured but alive. However, Dogra later told Luffy and Ace that Sabo had been killed by a world noble while setting out to sea, leaving them devastated. Luffy went to the coast and cried all night, and Ace came to him the next morning. Luffy made Ace promise that he wouldn't die, swearing to become stronger. For the next 7 years, the two continued adventuring and training to get stronger, with Luffy learning to throw effective long-range punches with his stretching. A 14-year-old Luffy then bid farewell to Ace, who sailed out to sea as a pirate upon turning 17. 3 more years passed before Luffy became a pirate himself, and he bid farewell to the Dadan family before going to Fuchsia Village to say goodbye and set sail. When the Lord of the Coast emerged to confront him, Luffy punched it away with Gomu Gomu no pistol. As he sailed, Luffy plotted to recruit 10 crewmates, get a Jolly Roger, and become the Pirate King. Romance Dawn Arc. The first thing that Luffy came across on his voyage was a whirlpool, which pulled his ship in. Luffy managed to survive by hiding in a barrel which washed ashore on Goat Island. The Elvira Pirates' cabin boy, Koby, rolled the barrel to a storehouse, and some of his crewmates went to open it, causing Luffy to knock them out as he emerged accidentally. Luffy asked Koby for a ship, and Koby gave him a boat he had made to escape, revealing that he was serving the Elvira Pirates against his will, but was too afraid to try to get away. Luffy didn't think much of Koby's lack of resolve, telling the cabin boy that he intended to become Pirate King. Koby's captain Elvira then came and destroyed the boat, but as she confronted Koby, the cabin boy found the resolve to stand up to her. Luffy was impressed with Koby and intercepted Elvira's attempt to strike Koby with her mace. The mace didn't affect Luffy, and he knocked out Elvira with one punch. Luffy then told the Elvira pirates to get him and Koby a boat, and they complied. As they sailed, Koby was concerned about the fate Luffy would meet when sailing on the Grand Line, known as the Pirates' Graveyard. Luffy replied that he would assemble a powerful crew, starting with the powerful bounty hunter, Roronoa Zoro. With Koby's navigation skills, they made it to Shell's Town, where Zoro was being held captive by the Marines led by Captain Morgan. After eating at a restaurant, Luffy and Koby prepared to split up at the Marine base. Luffy looked over the wall and saw Zoro tied up, and Zoro offered to help him if he was freed. Luffy and Koby then watched as a little girl named Rika climbed over the wall to feed Zoro some rice balls. However, Morgan's son Helmeppo then came and stopped her, having his Marine guards throw her over the wall. Luffy caught Rika, and as Helmeppo's group left, he climbed over the wall to talk to Zoro. Zoro refused to join Luffy's crew, saying Helmeppo had promised to let him go free if he could survive without nourishment for a month. However, he asked Luffy to feed him Rika's rice balls that Helmeppo had smashed into the ground and told him to tell Rika that they were delicious. Luffy returned to Shell's Town and relayed the message to Rika, and she revealed that Zoro was imprisoned after protecting her from Helmeppo's dog. Helmeppo then came into town and announced to the citizens that Zoro would be executed, and when Luffy questioned his promise, he revealed that it was a lie. Luffy then punched Helmeppo, and as Koby held him back from attacking him more, Helmeppo said his father would get revenge on Luffy. Luffy then went back to the Marine base to recruit Zoro again. When he found out that the Marines had confiscated Zoro's sword, Luffy went to find them and offered to give them back if Zoro joined his crew. Hearing voices on the roof of the base, Luffy stretched his arms and pulled himself up. However, he sent himself flying over the top and grabbed the ropes that the Marines were using to erect the statue of Morgan, causing the statue to fall and break. Luffy then captured Helmeppo and ran inside, telling Helmeppo to give him the location of Zoro's sword. Helmeppo did so, and Luffy used him as a shield to keep him from being shot by the Marines. Luffy went to Helmeppo's room, where he saw 3 swords. Seeing Zoro and Koby being confronted by Morgan and the Marines outside, Luffy took all the swords and jumped out the window, intercepting the bullets being shot at Zoro and Koby. Luffy's rubber body absorbed the bullets and sent them flying back at the Marines. Zoro said that all 3 of the swords were his, and agreed to join Luffy if they survived this battle. As Luffy tried to untie Zoro, Zoro told him to give him his swords instead. Zoro cut himself free to intercept the charging Marines, and Luffy kicked all of them away. As Morgan told his subordinates to shoot themselves, Luffy attacked the Marine captain and quickly overpowered him. Helmeppo then threatened to shoot Koby, and Luffy turned to attack him, turning his back on Morgan. However, Luffy was able to punch Helmeppo as Zoro cut down Morgan. To the pirates' surprise, the Marines celebrated the defeat of their captain. Luffy, Zoro, and Koby then went to eat at Rika's family's restaurant, but the Marines came and told them they had to leave. They questioned if Koby was going with them, and Luffy started talking about Koby's past to goad Koby into hitting him. This plan worked, and Koby joined the Marines. As Luffy and Zoro set sail, Koby and the Marines came to the coast and saluted them as thanks for freeing them from Morgan.
L is for lovers who love one another. A is for ass. of which I like to eat. U is for you're the only one for me. G is for the only gamer I see. H is for happy, I'm always feeling. When you put them together, what do you get? Put them together, what do you get? What do you get?